Yeah, we know that there's strong interest from United. They made that interest formal yesterday with that first bid. The opening bid, £40 million. I think we all knew that that was going to be rejected, and it was duly rejected out of hand, dismissed straight away by Chelsea. We're expecting them to go back in with an improved offer and soon. We knew there was going to be a gap in valuation. We think Chelsea are after close to £70 million, whereas Manchester United are probably looking around about the £50 million mark. Some sort of compromise will have to be met if this deal is to go through. That's why I think United started quite low at £40 million. What they will play on, though, is Mason Mount's only got a year left on his contract. And the more this potential game of poker goes on, if United keep bidding and Chelsea keep rejecting, is that Chelsea might find themselves in a position where United will think, well, we have got other targets. We think we're very comfortable with the bids we've made for Mason Mount. We're going to park that and we're not going to go for him anymore. And if that's the case and he doesn't sign a new contract, then Chelsea are going to be in a position where Mason Mount, 6 months away from being able to sign a pre-contract agreement from a team outside England, and then a further 6 months away from having his pick from any Premier League team, from any team in the world, and for no money at all. So I think Chelsea will be a little bit careful about how they'll approach this. And I think Manchester United might just feel that they can get Mason Mount at the price that they feel is realistic for a player who, the more noises we're hearing, wants to go to Manchester United and also has only got a year left on his contract.
You mentioned there are other targets. What's Manchester United's main priority this season, this summer? Feels like a striker should be a bit more of a big deal for them.
Yes, I mean, all along, that has been the priority position. They've gone through the last season when Eric Ten Hag has inherited a team where Anthony Martial and Cristiano Ronaldo were his two strikers, in inverted commas. Martial had an injury-ravaged season last season. Cristiano Ronaldo, we all know what happened there. And in November, they parted ways and you thought, right, he's got 2 months now to try and bring in a striker in January. But they were obviously keeping their powder dry for the summer because they knew they'd have more choice in the summer about which players they could go for, and probably more finances in the summer as well. Hence, they had that stopgap almost with Wout Weghorst coming in for the second half of last season. I know we'll talk about Harry Kane. It looks rather unlikely that they're going to pursue that deal just now. So they're looking at other players. I think United's priority could have been to bring in two strikers, actually.
Yeah.
One who's been there and done it, and one who can learn off the player who's been there and done it. And the one that we think they're interested in as a young player who can learn the trade is Rasmus Højlund from Atalanta. We know that initial contact has been made between the clubs, but now we're hearing that more and more reports that are suggesting that he might cost, the thick end of £80 million, which I don't think United would want to spend.
Guy.
I don't think United would want to spend, but United do need a player in that position. And when you have a Premier League club who are desperate to bring in a player in that position and they go abroad, those teams who are potentially selling to Manchester United are immediately thinking, we could probably add a zero onto this price because we know it's Manchester United, we know it's the Premier League, and we know that they are in the market to bring in that striker because they really haven't got one. If Wout Weghorst doesn't stay at the club, Anthony Martial still question marks about his future. I just wonder whether United will start next season if they can't bring in the tried and trusted player who would cost in the region of £100 million, whether they'd go for an Anthony Martial and another player to back him up as their two central strikers for next season.